I've been spending time over the last couple of weeks using a variety of different generative AI tools to get my own sense of how they think they help and sometimes don't help in ways that I sort of anticipated that they would. Um, from a natural language, generative AI capability producing natural language, I've been using ChatGPT, both version 3.5 and 4. I've also been using Bard, and I find that they um, they produce really great structure and voluminous content. Oftentimes it is fairly solid. The two critiques, though, around needing to be able to fact check it and to scrutinize the quality of it, I think is absolutely true, as well as aspects of it having kind of hallucinations, as they call it, and really surfacing responses that don't really actually answer the question. And it reminds me of kind of the old adage around if you want the right answer, sort of push the wrong answer out on the internet, and you'll usually get corrected. And I find that whether I'm asking it to help me generate a white paper, whether I'm asking it to help me generate an email, even just something fairly simple, it does take my sort of human intuition of what I want and recognizing the degree to which the output actually gets to that. And that sort of corresponds with my experience using image creation tools like Starry AI from text prompts. Some of the work is really fantastic. Oftentimes it'll create an output that's like wildly not what you expect or what you want, and you have to learn how to calibrate your prompts in order to create the output. Now, what I find interesting about text to image and even text to video generators that's different than the way that text to text generators are working is image generators more consistently are creating multiple outputs so that the sort of human creator in the process can sort of select one and then further refine from it. It's an interesting capability that I can see kind of doesn't lend itself as well to text output when you've got kind of a long string of text versus creating two or three outputs side by side and comparing them. Overall, I think the idea of using these generative AIs in sort of a co-working, co-pilot sort of way is absolutely relevant. And I can see where consistent sort of roles within organizations are likely going to see platform tools like financial tools, HR tools, ERP tools in general are going to be standardizing the way Copilot features could be working within a platform. What's going to be interesting, though, is to see how it creates a predictive capability on top of mostly standard, but sometimes very customizable data structures. That's going to be its source of input. That's been a struggle with sort of machine learning and predictive capabilities on platforms like SAP and Oracle and Workday and others. So I think that'll be curious. And the more integrated solutions where you sort of take something like a Bard or a ChatGPT and integrate it into a platform, I suspect are going to end up being those that are much more highly specific skill and role and industry oriented, like we see around sort of coding. You see GitHub releasing a Copilot feature to help with the coding snippets and code repository usage. I can see aspects of co-piloting being applied in very sort of like professional industries, or where you're starting to create sort of what's the phrase that we call it? Kind of intelligent and specialized systems, right? Expert systems. So that's just some of my experience using these generative AI tools and seeing how they can create a little bit of efficiency, but because they do change the way that you sort of work and kind of your flow of work, I do think there's a transition where there's kind of a disruption to normal productivity while you're creating a slightly new working habit, new working model.